What's up, Marla fans? It's October, which means it's also Inktober. If you're unfamiliar with Inktober, it's a drawing exercise where every day of the month you get a different prompt and you do a quick sketch in ink uh, that illustrates that word. Um, Somebody challenged me to combine the prompt and involve the Jeep somehow, and I thought that was an interesting concept. So I'm gonna give it a go. Um, this is a couple of days late, but that's okay. I'm gonna just backlog these. So the first prompt was Mustache, and so I think what I'm gonna do uh, is do a front end shot, kind of uh, minimalist of the Jeep, and throw in a handlebar mustache because I think that probably works best. Um, or maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll see. We'll see where it goes because I kind of also have an idea in my head, and maybe I'll just start drawing here. I'll try to talk through this as best I can. But doing basic shape form for the Jeep, I've done a lot of drawing of the Jeep, obviously. So I kind of know where some of these things are. It's not going to be perfect, obviously, but let's get like a 3/4 front shot, sort of. And throw some headlights on, and I know that with the Jeep, the headlights and the fenders come in about 1/3 of the way through, and the vertical, there's like an angle here, and then the vertical is about 1/3 of the way through the headlight that way, and then on the other 1/3 of the headlight, and about where halfway through the grill is where your parking light is going to land. So that's kind of giving me some landmarks there to work with. I'm going to do a down windshield, I think, because that's how I like driving my Jeep. I'm just doing real rough. See if it's leaning off that way. Get a nice flexy kind of. Ooh, too much. Somebody once told me that the axis, there should be like a 90-degree there, and that's how your wheel, what's it called, the elliptical should be drawn. I'm obviously doing this in moments, so it's going to be really pretty rough. Let's be our bumper. Let's say that where the frame kind of lands. And have your shackles here and whatnot, springs. This one would be open, this would be more compressed. Okay, there we go. Let's do sort of so the Jeeps are relatively like a cube, or like a rectangular cube, so you can kind of, for the most part, start that way. I know from drawing a lot of them that the rear quarter panel is slightly higher than the rocker panel there. I'm going to cut a doorway in, kind of just real rough, and then round off the edges. This is really definitely not to scale, more of the cartoony edge. And then there's a bend in the body where everything kind of goes towards the front there. Now the fenders are flat, but they are not square at the front. They are a radius there, kind of imply that. Same here, and they lean out on the edges. Let's maybe see the underside of that one a little bit. And we're gonna these are kind of guessing. I'm trying to be super fast, so let's get kind of a rough Jeep there. Come to the back just a little bit more. Now, any good flex, you're gonna be crossing up the front axle and the rear, so do the rear that way. And this is I probably blew it on that angle. Go get those wheels in there, and we got a hub there that's selectable, probably some lug nuts in there. I'm gonna do the grill real fast. So the Jeep grill actually encroaches on the headlight a little bit at the edges for the 7-slot ones. So you get, where the headlight mounts, you get kind of a little tiny bit of radius there. And then at the bottom, there's 2 notches on either side on the civilian 7-slot grill. The M38's a little different. but on these, that's where your bracket is to hold it to the frame. Okay, there's roughly center. Roughly, I probably could have done my X to figure it out, but that guy. Rough in a quick grill here. Oof, very rough. Yeah, 7-ish. Hood kind of overhangs actually the grill a little bit, and I used to think that, man, they really didn't measure things, but I think really it's to keep water out. That's a guess. Don't quote me on that. Okay, let's throw a seat in there, kind of ish. I mean, our proportions and our perspective are probably a bit off, but that's okay. We're just doing Inktober here. It's not like a serious thing. So that's close, I think, ish. Right, yeah. Probably the other wheels over there, sort of. Springs and whatnot underneath. All right. Let's see. Oh, steering wheel. Right. Let's do the steering wheel up here somewhere. Kind of that way would be good. It's that 90-degree. Okay, close-ish. So the other idea I had, and I don't know why the mustache would be like under what I considered to be the mouth, but just bear with me here. Yeah, just flowing in the wind. It's sort of handlebar mustache, just get that all around there. Yeah, sure, why not? And then, of course, it would be sort of wiry, not a perfect mustache, right? So, this is dumb. What a dumb idea. But also fun. This is fun. I'm having a good time. I hope you are as well. There we go. Let's just go all out with the it's crusty mustache. All right. And I'm not going to get too crazy detailed on this one, but, you know, might do a little bit of shading? Shadow work. What am I saying? There you go. There's the crusty handlebar mustache that's been growing for too long, completely unkempt, and sort of like a Jeep in that way, I guess. All right. Let's do shadow work. Kind of imply that it's dark under here. Some dimension. And harden up some of those lines. That in there. I'm not gonna. I could probably spend all day doing. Probably ought to imply at least a little bit of the tread here. Just real cheap. Like if I was spending more time, I would, calculate out where the geometry is for all these. But I'm not gonna spend my time doing that. Kick up some rocks and stuff. Speed lines. Pretty. I actually kind of like this rear wheel a little bit. It turned out pretty nice for just a quick at it. Okay, here we go. Just darkening some of the stuff down here. It's okay to kind of lose some things. apply the glass. I like the 3A, obviously. I've got a V35 myself, so. But I've always liked the 3A windshield. I've always been, my first Jeep was an M38, flat fender, anyways. It was an M38, and I don't know. I always just kind of like the windshield there. No offense to the 2A and MB GPW guys, but I think I lost track of my real verticals there. That's all right. There we go. That's just blasting down some dirt road. A little dust or maybe white smoke or blue smoke coming from this thing. Maybe a little higher up. Okay. There we go. Now we're talking. Look at how fun this is. All right. There we go. I thought I was going to do a front end shot, but I think this is more fun. All right. Inktober 2025. And I probably am going to blow it on the spelling here, but Mustache. One of, how many days are there? 31. Done. Hope you enjoyed this.